Opening statement for tonight's debate on theism. Anti-theism is a specific thing with a specific meaning that even anti-theists will get wrong. I was one of those. Someone who spent some time demonizing the term because I felt it somehow implied an irrational bigotry against theists. It does not. It simply means to oppose theism, or to think theism is harmful. And by theism, I mean the religious doctrines of a god or gods. And since our interlocutors this evening are of the Christian faith, I will be using their beliefs to explain why I am opposed to their faith and their God. Explaining to you why I am an atheist would be easy enough. The metaphysical claims made by religions are not true and derived from the infancy of mankind. Humans simply didn't know a lot of data we now take for granted. For instance, humans in our infancy had no way of knowing germ theory, which would explain disease. They didn't know the earth revolved around the sun, couldn't have known that earthquakes were the result of living on a crust of a cooling planet. See, it is easy for me to see that in this ignorance, in this absence of knowledge, myth can be born. Or, how about the absolute lack of evidence that would compel me to believe in any God? No theologian has ever been able to conclusively show that a creator or an ultimate designer of the universe has ever existed. The closest they come is inference, putting it into natural arrangements that we as human beings are capable of observing. But explaining my anti-theism to you, that's even easier. And in relation to the theocracy that both our interlocutors have, a no-brainer. If the Christian God claim were to be in fact true, what you would have from the very first breath you would ever take in this existence would be a permanent, unchangeable, inescapable, unchallengeable dictator that would require round-the-clock surveillance and supervision of every single waking and sleeping moment of your life. It requires you abolish any illusion of privacy, even in your own mind and in your own most private thoughts. We are talking, without a doubt, the most complete form of totalitarian dictatorship that could possibly be imagined. The mere notion of such a figure is indecent if one were to just stop and think about it. Every time you shower, the dictator's eyes widen, just in case you get a little too frisky with the soap. Every single time you use the bathroom, God was there in all of your glory. You know, to make sure you touch your junk in the right manner. Every dream you have ever had must be observed for sinful lust or any deals with devils. Every time you scratch your... I think you get the point. And it is even worse than that in the dogmatic belief system of Abrahamics. Because this dictatorship will not only last your entire living life, but throughout eternity as well. From what I have gathered, Abrahamics offers you two possibilities in your afterlife. An eternity of praise and civility to a being that just did his job by creating you, or an eternity of the most painful torture imaginable for the crime of carrying out the design of your creator. You know, we are created sinners, after all. As I said, opposing such dictatorship is easy and a no-brainer. I want to thank you for listening to this. This is going to be a new thing I'm going to do. I'm going to go back and I'm going to get some of my older opening statements since I started writing them out and taking them more seriously. And I'm going to put all of this into a little series of short videos. The longest they'll be would be around 10 minutes. So thank you for listening. And I'm excited about this. I take great pride in the opening statements that I research and write out for my debates.